Ready? So with Miss F, ready cuteness? We're gonna work a little bit with our place behavior. This can again be really helpful for down the road, especially if you have a puppy that has a hard time settling. So if she's a little eager, I just ignore that sort of jumping for a moment, but then I'm gonna feed her for when all 4 feet are on the floor. If you're finding though they kind of go right back into it, see if you can ask for behavior instead. So I might bring her, she's like, Lydia, I don't know if I can step on this. So if she's never really practiced with this little bed, I'm gonna just do a few little finets on top of the item, get her cozy. She's never tried this little mat. There we go, nice job. She might think, oh my gosh, what if I step on it and I can fall through it? So if your puppy's ever a little unsure, show them that again, the material is okay to walk on. Some puppies are very literal and they might think, oh my gosh, if I go on this, I might fall through. Two, novelty at this age group can be a little startling. So you might be going through another fear period with your puppy. So obviously if you're going to lure the babe, make sure you're watching for their body language. So you can see that she's very hesitant. She thinks she's going to magically like not be able to go onto the mat. So if again, she's a little bit unsure, I want to make sure that I'm not making it too spooky. So I might do a couple find its. Nice, good job, cuteness. And then from there, ready? Go into a little sit if I can. Ready, cuteness? So right here, we might get a little sit. Beautiful. That still counts. Gorgeous. She's like, oh, I dropped it. So ready? We'll get another little sit. I'm going to tell her to stay. So remember with the beginnings of stay, you want to make sure that you're feeding several little snacks while they're in it. That one's a little crummy, so I'll put that one back. We'll do that one later. So if your puppy is having a hard time with their stay behavior, it could be that the environment's too stimulating. It could be, oh, actually, let me just make sure I have my thing on. Yes, I do. Okay, perfect. Sorry about that. I couldn't remember if I had put my mic on. So if, for example, your stay behaviors are tricky, as I was mentioning, make sure the environment is not too trying or too hard or too exciting. So while she's doing a sit, I would tell her to stay, and I would only use my cue word once. So if my puppy breaks, which means they get up and they wiggle, I would reset up the sit stay. So in the beginning, I start off where I'm not very far. So I know I mentioned the 3 Ds earlier with some of the other skills like the weight that I was working on earlier with Mr. Handsome, Mr. H. So right now, my rate of reinforcement is high enough where, again, she finds it valuable to hold the sit stay. When I want to go and end it, I would feed her her last snack. So let's say this is going to be her last little rep for the sit stay on her dog bed. Then I'd say all done or finished. Pat my lovely if they don't dislike touch, and help them move off the mat, but I'm not pairing this with cum, and I'm not pairing it with food at the end to move off of her target. I want her to think the value comes from being stationary on her spot, which this would again be your place or bed or whatever target word you'd like it to be. And then once she's on there, you could tell her to stay, and then you could feed several snacks throughout the stay behavior. If in the beginning the time frame is every 2 to 3 seconds and that's going amazingly, you may up the time frame. If though when the time is too long between each interval and your puppy keeps breaking, which means they're getting up from their stay position, it could be that the time frame between each rep is too big and too hard. So I like doing short and sweet little reps in the beginning to build up value. Nice, all done in that duration of being stuck. So there's no food for getting out of your spot, only for being in it. So again, I might go ready, get her attention, bring her to her bed. She's like, I'm still not really positive about this weird target, but she's getting much more fluid. Stay. And if let's say staying and doing your reps is going really well with your time frame, you could then start to, for example, add a little bit of movement, but I wouldn't make it too hard. So again, a little bit of movement and then yes to feed. So again, we would only apply the stay the one time. If my puppy broke, like let's say she got up and she wiggled, I'd re-ask for my bed or place behavior, whatever you're calling your target, get them to do another little sit or down and tell them once more to stay and have them hang there for just a couple seconds. So in the beginning, you'll see that my reps are short and sweet. As she's getting more fluid with the time frame, then I might add distance or movement and distractions as well. Yes, so I'm gonna do one more. So again, if she wiggles, I'm gonna reset her up. She's like, lady, I would like to do dance moves all over this mat. So if she's a bit of a wiggly worm, don't worry, again, stay. She's also starting to generalize this behavior and start to work it with someone new like me, or also work it in different environments like the classroom here, and then also maybe a different target than she has at home. Yes. So right now with our lovely Miss F, this could be another helpful way where if your puppy is getting into trouble, for example, like doing things you don't love, get in the practice to going to their spot and then creating value by giving a special chew or an item on that target as another way to make it even more beneficial. So again, she's done eating. I'm going to say all done with some little touch. If your pup did not like touches, you could say all done, finish, release, whatever slogan you like, add a little hand motion, and then have them get up from that spot. If they're getting a little excited, again, back into a little sit. Ready? She's like, no, I'm very tired. There we go. Nice. So, and sometimes too, guys, when your puppies are having a hard time, they might be excessively mouthy or very much so bouncy and jumping on you. So I would highly recommend that if sometimes your puppies are overtired or certain needs have not been met, their capabilities for thinking may not be as fluid as you were hoping. So always think, what could I ask for my puppy instead? So if she's jumping, I might ask for sits. I might ask for a lovely down and then feed for those responses instead. So you always think, what would I prefer from my lovely lady versus constantly saying no, off, down, or whatever slogans we might be saying over and over. So I'll give her a little break from the stay position on her target. And I want to do a little bit with maybe some of the play and getting her to get excited and coming back with a toy and see how she does again.